All right, for the third time. I'm gonna mention this. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's get it. All right, family. For those who don't know, this is the third time we're actually doing this.
Take 3.
No Labels Podcast, Pop-Up Edition, JB Samson Edition. We're going to talk art, music, consistency, persistence.
Facts.
We're going to talk the process, and we're just going to chop it up, man. I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
What's up, world? My name is JB Samson. I'm a musician, creative, singer, rapper, producer, whatever. All those different things. A lot of different things. I am human. Yeah. So.
All right, so yeah. So we had some technical difficulties. So yeah, man, it's all part of the process. We still here. I'm still in Columbia, South Carolina. I'm still with my man JB Samson. We gonna dive in. He got some new music. We gonna bring it up later. All links gonna be down below. First off, I just want to ask you how you doing.
I'm
how,
all right, man.
How you doing? You chilling today?
I'm chilling. I ain't trying to do nothing today. So this is nice. I'm glad I got to stay home. You know, and just kick it.
You kicking it?
So I'm glad to have you here.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad to be here. And man, I'm personally invested in this interview. I personally been watching JB growth for about a couple years now. On the way coming up here, I was talking to you. I was trying to figure out. I don't even know how we actually met in the first place. So it's crazy how God even brought all that together. But I watch, and it's like I relate to your journey, at least the part that I can see.
Yeah.
I relate to a lot. It was like finding your voice, like you killing live shows now. Like people starting to recognize like the art you putting out and what you doing. But it's like I've been seeing that. I've been seeing even listening to your first project, like the way that you do music. I would call you, like I said, I would call you a true artist. I would call myself a true artist, but you know I don't play the pianos and stuff like that. And it's like
I don't either.
I like what you're doing. You don't play the piano?
No.
What that be? Oh, you good? You a good producer.
I know how to make things sound the way I need them to sound in a moment.
Okay.
I'll say that.
Well, that's fire.
Like, if you ask me to like play, Fur Elise or something on the piano, like I can't just play keys. You know what I'm saying? I'm not Stevie Wonder, but I know how to, use what I have to make it sound the way I want it.
Let's start from the beginning. Pull your mic a little closer so you pick your voice up. Let's just start from the beginning, man.
Okay.
Like first of all, I like your work ethic. I like hustlers. That's what I call. I like people who have a vision and they find a way. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Of course, you know what I'm saying? It's God who makes the way, but we have to have the courage to walk it.
We have to take the steps on the way.
We gotta be able to step. I wrote a post on Facebook yesterday, and it was like I ain't wrote a post so long. Just wrote one, but it was like I've learned that letting go of control is hard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's like if you're gonna do this thing with life with God, it's required.
Yeah.
And it's like it's really hard stepping out of the known to the unknown, the comfortable to the comfortable to the uncomfortable, and just especially as a father, you know what I'm saying? Like finding yourself as you fathering, as you leading, as you got to be the shoulder that everyone stands on around you.
Having to lead in any capacity.
While
you're trying to figure out yourself it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
That's a fact. And it's like, we just here to talk it up, man. I just want to talk about music, first of all. Like, just icebreaker, like, what's on your playlist? It's a part I'm adding on the podcast, like, top 5 playlists.
I feel like your playlist, depending on who you are and depending on who you are and how you listen to music, like, what you listen to can say a lot about a person. My playlist, I'm not big on playlists specifically.
What I'm saying, like,
what I'm saying?
What I'm asking is what you listening to on this week.
Like, I know what you're saying. I just because I know a lot of people are big on like actual playlists.
Okay, I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
I have playlists, but like they don't really matter to me that much. I'm an album person for sure.
Okay, so what album you listen to?
It very much depends. It varies. I love St. John is one of my favorite people right now.
You on the St. John too?
Like I love St. John. St. John is that guy. Like his confidence is unmatched. The way that he uses melody and aggression so evenly, you know what I'm saying? But he does what he does gives you like I guess like immediate gratification of like what's in the trap vein, but it's more than that. You know what I'm saying? There's so many different levels to it. You know what I'm saying? You can get a song like Trap featuring Lil Baby and then turn around on, you know, like at the same time have a song like Selfish. You know what I'm saying? Like two completely different vibes, and you can hear them on, you know, like this. Well, those two aren't necessarily on the same album, but like those feels can be on the same album and it not be weird or, you know, it makes sense because of the way he pulls it all together, and he shows you his range with every release. Plus, just hearing that man talk got me inspired. I'm like, yo, that's right. I am that guy. You know what I'm saying? So,
confidence.
But no, St. John. I love St. John. Shmino. I'm actually going to go see him and JID, me and one of the homies. We're going to go see them next Friday. That's going to be fun. Shmino is crazy, man. His wordplay, like, I've never heard someone, like, give themselves so many different monikers and just, like, little, you know, sub names.
Yeah.
Just because they're really, really good at, like, wordplay.
Jid fight too.
You know, JID is crazy.
I bubble with Jid.
JID is crazy. Let's see. I'm gonna just look at my Spotify right now so I can be like, because I want to be.
What was the album of the year 2022?
Album of the year of 2022.
I know what I'm gonna say.
What you gonna say, Kendrick?
Mr. Morale.
Mr. Morale was
big
amazing.
Stepper.
Yo, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers was absolutely amazing. That's yeah. So if I'm being completely honest, like I don't know what album of the year is. Off the top, my first thought is to just give it to Mr. Morale because like that was a big album.
Yeah.
Not only just on like a, you know, oh well it's Kendrick sort of thing, but like just what he did with that was like people are still talking about that album whether they loved it or hated it. And for the people that hated it, their reasons for hating it, I can guarantee you, are based on some form of falsehood in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or just lack of understanding. And that's fine, you know? But, like, regardless, they still talking about it.
No, Mr. Morale was probably my favorite. I don't know, it was different. Like you could tell Kendrick in a different place on that. Like you could tell he in a way different place, and he's still on that way, on that path.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that. So I did listen to Lil Yachty's new album. It was impressive.
Lil Yachty?
He made a complete switch that he was able to pull off in a way that made a lot of sense. Like
Lil Yachty, I gotta listen to it. I never.
I've never been like a big Lil Yachty fan, but I've always been like, you know, Yachty's cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not listening to a Yachty album, but like if he puts out a new song, I'll see what's up. You know what I'm saying? That sort of thing. But this was very much like this was his left field album. Like when Kendrick dropped Good Kid, Mad City, people was like, "Oh, it's classic!" immediately, and then he dropped To Pimp a Butterfly, and people were like, "What the heck is this?"
To Pimp a Butterfly really is a classic.
Fast forward, and the people that didn't get it realized, "Oh,
I didn't get it."
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He was too far. He was too ahead of his time.
Right. I feel like in a very different way, this was Yachty's To Pimp a Butterfly. It was because like To Pimp a Butterfly was Kendrick's left field album.
Yeah.
Right? This is Yachty's left field album. So
I might have to check it out. Do you think like the art of album making is dying? I won't say
the art of album appreciation is dying.
Oh, that's good. Album appreciation. That's
the art
real.
of album making isn't necessarily dying, depending on who you're listening to.
But people with album appreciation, that's fire.
Because our attention spans are trash.
Yeah, so they can't really appreciate. Like one of my favorite albums is like even I think this is probably like the best sounding album I've ever heard. Nipsey Hussle, Victory Lap.
I need to go back and listen to Victory Lap again.
Sonically, I think that's like it sounds so good. Yeah. You may not be able to relate to what he's talking about, everybody, but it's like
he can still uplift you though. That's the thing about Nipsey. He like whether you necessarily like immediately relate or not, like you gonna feel the hustle and you
still inspired by it. Yeah,
exactly. That's real.
Album appreciation. That's real though. Like I think the album appreciation has we don't really, and it's like that's an L for the artist because we don't like. I appreciate an album. I appreciate like artwork or something you put together. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? It's like people don't realize that's why like it's like $1.99 to download somebody's music. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean that's if you want to purchase it through Apple Music. Oh, like if you have a Spotify or an Apple Music thing, like you don't have to pay for anything other than your subscription.
You don't have to pay, but it's like even to not like an artist put a lot of work into what they do, and not just music. Anybody who it's like that's like I think the more that'd be an issue I know with a lot of creators is like. They harbor these feelings because they feel like people who they thought should have supported them didn't, and that's when bitterness come in. It's like you gotta understand. Like first, everybody, the closest people to you is probably gonna be the last people to see it, and it's like in order to stop yourself from cutting everybody off, you know what I'm saying? Just relax and keep grinding. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, I gave
up on that.
Yeah,
I gave up on that. It's the idea that. Oh, well, we've known each other for however long. You're supposed to support me. Like, no. Unfortunately, 9 times out of 10, and I've seen this from my own personal experience. I've got homies who've seen it from theirs. I've seen it from just the internet. You know what I'm saying? Like, 9 times out of 10, the people that you actually physically know immediately, like in person, are probably not going to really support your music like that. Most of your support is going to come from people that you've never met, that you maybe might have chatted with, like over the internet. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like someone that commented on something behind the screen. That's who your real support's going to come from a lot of the time. And it's just, I think a big part of it has to do with the fact that, like, the people that you know personally think that they know you. They're used to who they think they know you to be. And because no one ever truly knows anyone, and take that how you will. Like, no one ever truly knows anyone. Yeah. Very rarely do you really thoroughly know someone. Yeah. Regardless of how close you are, somebody got some sort of secret, right? Yeah. So, like, no matter how well you think you know somebody, you never really fully know them. And because people have these ideas of who you are in their head, they're like, oh, well, I mean, whatever. I'm sure it's, cool, but, whatever. I mean, think about it. They don't know Kendrick Lamar. They don't know JID. Yeah. They don't know these artists that they listen to on a regular daily basis. Yeah. But they heard about them from someone else who told them they were dope, whether it was someone else they knew personally or something they stumbled onto through the internet and was like, oh, this is tight. It's new. It's unknown. They have no real point of reference other than whatever music they grew up on. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily really even a personal thing. Yeah. And that was the biggest thing that I had to learn. One of the biggest things that I had to learn when it came to support was like the lack of support isn't personal.
You can't take it. It's not really personal. It's like once you done did it long enough, it begins to get personal. Right. But it's like it starts.
It feels personal.
Because you. I guess it's our perception. But it ain't personal, and it
feels personal because we're giving of ourselves. We're giving of, from the depths of our soul and that sort of thing. You know what I'm saying?
I guess it do feel personal.
So
sometimes.
It feels very personal, but like, they don't. A lot of times, your friends don't realize like, oh, this really bugs them when I don't like this or share that or whatever, and it's like, the thing that made me really like not so about it was when. I really recently, I started getting to a point, like, thankfully I was sort of over it by this time, but like recently I started realizing, I'm forgetting to respond to text messages. Yeah. Like, regardless of who the person is. Like, if I read the message and I don't know if it's like this doesn't like immediately feel like something that needs, my attention. Or if it's just forgetfulness, I'm not sure what exactly it is. But, like, once I read the message, if if I don't immediately respond back, 9 times out of 10, I probably won't.
Yeah.
And if I do, it'll probably be like the next day. And that's not personal. Like, it's like people get mad at their friends when they don't like text them back and stuff.
But we got life
You know
going
what I'm saying?
on.
Meanwhile, they scrolling on Instagram.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but like that's mindless activity.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm just too tired to like text back.
I ain't lying.
You know
You
what I'm
be
saying?
exhausted. Like, bro, I be seeing, like, nah, I'm sleepy, bro. I done work
That's
10
right.
hours. I done work 10 hours. I'm playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in front of 2K. Not
Mhm.
tonight, bro. No, and it's like that. But how many relationships are lost? Is the thing still good? How many relationships are lost because they get offended? And I'm gonna move past this because I want to talk about it a whole lot more. But
Oh yeah.
like, how many people are lost? Like, how many good relationships are lost instead of being put? Okay, you got to put people in they certain categories.
Exactly.
It's like,
everybody,
okay,
like your relationships are like everybody has their place.
and you got good people.
Yeah.
I mean, some of it is hate, but that's just part. Success breeds hate. If you can't
Facts.
handle hate, but I hate when it's that's why I like social media. Like, I think it's good to detox from social media.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people think I'm on social media, but my social media is really scheduled.
Yeah.
So what you see is like a scheduled thing I do the prior day, and it's like it comes out.
I'm trying to get better at that. I'm not good at it. Like I just learned that Instagram has a freaking like scheduling option.
Yeah, so
I just found that out.
I just do it just to have a presence,
Yeah.
but not so much to be on it, because a lot of it, and you see it like when you go on, and a lot of people are hater focused. You can, I mean, you don't know them personally, but you just see it in the content they put out, and it's
Yeah.
like always about, you know what I'm saying, hating, and they're like, yeah.
I seen Tyler the Creator say something in an interview one time. He was like, you know, he'll go online and people will just be like, oh man, you know, I'm so upset with Tony because he said whatever or did whatever, or like did or didn't stand for this or that and that sort of thing. Like, he was like, bro, like, is that all you have to talk about? It's just the stuff that you hate or the people that you mad at? Like, what do you enjoy?
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Like,
I was like, you know what? That's a very fair point. A lot of time spent on the internet is just spent either like producing or indulging in content that's focused on negativity, and it's like, why bother? That's dumb.
and we got to tap in, man, because like what I've noticed, me personally, is like, to make good art, you got to learn. First, you got to live.
Mm-hmm.
Like me
Facts.
personally, like a lot of times when I'm getting like I guess writer's block, it's because, you know, when you stuck in this mundane cycle, like you got a song.
You're not experiencing it.
Yeah, you got a song about it. When you
Stuck.
when you stuck in this mundane cycle, work, bills, broke, creating, you know what I'm saying? Trying to, it's like,
It's so annoying, dog. It's like I'm so over it. Like, I remember Tyler the Creator said this too. He was like, yo, like, no, I'm not. I think someone was like, yo, drop some new music, and he was like, no, I'm living right now.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and he had like just dropped some music too. It's like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, his last album, Call Me When You Get Lost, that tour was amazing. That was such a great show. Like, he went and he lived and he enjoyed himself. He was out in freaking Switzerland doing
But
his
you know the
thing
crazy-
and whatnot. And like, then he came back and was like, yo, I got these songs now because I went out and lived life.
But see, Tyler can do that though. It's like, what about like if
A
I
normal person like us, like, no, I can't just pick up and go to Geneva.
Yeah.
That would be sick, but nah. You
it's
know what I'm
like, so
saying?
how do you live? How do you like?
How do you live when like you spend your existence like living to work? You know, like we're supposed to work to live. Ooh, Vampire Weekend has a line in this song where Ezra Koenig says, "We only work to live until we live to work," and that has stuck with me since like 2011. Like,
But you know, like, okay, as an artist, I'm gonna take it here. Once again, this is JB Samson. We're gonna talk new music, but as an artist, okay, you got levels to it. It's like success comes with a cost. So it's like, okay, like, do you think as an artist you've put out like your best effort?
no,
You know what I'm saying? They're doing it.
like, as
You ever
in,
seen that
like,
J. Cole documentary?
Yeah.
That was inspiring.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like what J. Cole was saying.
Yeah,
and it was
like,
like
he said, I want to, like, yeah, nah. I've not. I've put my best foot forward with the resources that I currently have.
Yeah.
Sure, with like, I'm trying to like my goal is to put my best foot forward every time that I step out, right?
Mm-hmm.
But have I done like, have I created my best work? My best work thus far?
Yeah.
Maybe, but like that's the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be better every time, and if it's not, then I mean, like a band that I have a special place in my heart for is a band called Haim. It's three sisters.
Haim?
Right? Yep, Haim. It's three sisters. You got Danielle. She's a lead and does guitar and whatnot, lead vocals. Then you have Esty. She plays bass. And then Elena does some other stuff and backup vocals. And their first album was amazing. I love that album with my soul. That album is so good. It's so funky. And they've put out 2 albums since. And unfortunately, the ROI on both of them for me just declined each time. Like the second one had maybe like 4 or 5 songs that I really kind of liked out of the like 12 to 14 that were on there. And then the third album, there might be one song that I think I went back and listened to more than once. And that broke my heart because they are really good at what they do. And I really expected
But they
more.
fell off, yeah.
But it just wasn't, for me personally. Now, granted, it might just be like an audience situation.
Yeah.
I'm not their target audience anymore. I mean, again, this is like 3 white girls, So like, maybe I'm just not their target audience.
Maybe.
Maybe that's just what it is.
You in a different place. You ain't sounding the same right now.
Yeah, right. But there was a whole lot of soul and a whole lot of funk and a whole lot of feeling in that first album, and I'll never forget it. And so with that said, it's one of those things where it's like, as an artist, you want to continue to gradually get better. Like Tyler Craig, I feel like Tyler the Creator's career trajectory from 2009 to now has done nothing but this.
Yeah.
If you look at his career trajectory,
he done came a long ways. He came a long ways.
Such a long way. And I feel like every artist's goal is to be able to have a career trajectory that just does this consistently. But it's hard because it's like, what are you dealing with at the time? What are you going through? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you experiencing? What are your experiences leading to make you create? Like,
that's true. And I think being in a rush kills creativity too.
Oh, it murders it.
It's like so in a rush to get to where you think you want to be instead of like, I think gratitude goes a long ways. What I'm learning, gratitude goes a long ways in creating good music. Because just to stop, just like right now, you know what I'm saying? Whether like we're artists right now, whether we're not getting paid $1 million,
Nope.
but we are doing what we love.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Because we care about it.
And it's like slowing down a little while, and it's like me. I go back to the Bible when it says when Jesus said, "Take no thought for tomorrow will take care of itself."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's powerful. You know what I'm saying? It's like tackle this day. Like right now, we at a podcast. Like I may not be where I want to be musically or professionally, podcast wise, but we are doing a podcast today. So it's like taking, you know what I'm saying, them small wins. But also, I asked you that question, do you think you're going hard enough? Because I think we, especially like people of faith, I think we don't work as hard as we should at what we want. Like it's levels. If you want to be just in your town level, then you don't have to work as hard as someone who's trying to actually
be international,
or make this their
some
living
sort of career. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's like,
it's a different work ethic. It's a very
different work ethic. Like I was talking to a friend the other day, and they were like, you should feel good about what you're doing, because like I feel like what you're doing is hard. And I was like, well, yeah, it is hard. Yeah, everything I'm doing is hard. But at the same time, like everybody's got something tough that they got to do.
Exactly.
And I don't disagree. I do feel like it's easy to be like, oh, well, I got Jesus, so it's gonna be all good, And
it is gonna be all good. But as far as what you're trying to do, I mean, as far as your eternal, but even then, like Jesus speaks about the wicked servant who buried his talent. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
And did nothing
with it.
Like meanwhile, you got 2 other ones like, hey, you gave me 2, I got you 4.
Yeah.
All right, you gave me 5, here's 10. You
And
know what I'm saying? It's like,
I think if we focus more on purpose and then focus more on, okay, this is what, okay, obviously you doing what God called you to do, whatever, it's in you.
right.
You're a walking instrument as far as your voice, the music. And so it's like you in your lane. But I think if we focus more like on creating and on doing what we know is in us to do
With what we have.
at the best, at the best level, you know what I'm saying? Because like I don't know your aspirations, but I'm pretty sure you want to be higher than your own city.
Oh, I definitely
You know what I'm
need to
saying?
get as far away. Not saying that like just I need to up and leave Columbia, but like my goal is for my reach to span far beyond here.
And you got the sound, and your sound actually is the type of sound that can go across multiple barriers because you don't
Right.
you don't have, like I like it because you know what I'm saying. It's almost like you ever watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Did you
Yeah.
ever? Like,
Of course.
it shows the different sides of being black. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
You got Will
like-
came from the street. Then you got Carlton, who was, the
Yeah.
certified like black white guy.
But still black.
But he's like the idea of like, oh, well, Carlton ain't really black. It's like who defined black as just what Will's character was? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Who defined black as just what Jazz was? You know what I'm saying? Like black has like I remember I saw a video on Facebook or something, and it was like this was from some years ago. It was this black kid. He had like a bunch of different piercings and stuff, and he had like the emo scene kid hair. You know what I'm saying? Like he like straightened his hair, and had like the little emo scene kid like swoosh thing going and whatnot. And he was talking. And he was like, "Yo, people out here saying like I want to be white. Like, where did you gather that information?
Exactly.
What brought you to that conclusion? Like, I like having my hair like this. I like having piercings. I like rock music. I like this. I like that. I like to do this. I like to do that. Who in God's name said that any of that was tailored to or specifically and solely for white people?
Yeah.
Like, I'm black and I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
And I also like these things.
Exactly.
Like, that doesn't change the color of my skin. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
what's
black-
that got to do with the price of tea in Canada?
Black is not a one size fits all thing, and that's why I like it. You know what I'm saying? Because like the media and stuff, they try to put us all in the box. Like you know what I'm saying?
I think the best example of what explaining how blackness is not this thing that we think it is that I've seen was an episode in season 3 of Atlanta, and it was the episode with Kevin Samuels. And it was, first of all, I was shocked because I think everybody had just found out that he had died, and then I think the next day the episode that he was in aired or something like that. It was crazy. But he's this rich philanthropist guy, right? He's at this high school giving a speech, and he's saying all you students, you did great, whatever. And I'm here because, quite frankly, black people need more representation, that sort of thing. And so my way of giving back, I'm going to, I graduated from this high school, and my way of giving back, I'm going to change the name to my name. The name of the school is going to be named after me and my father or whatever. And then this was the great part. He was like, and I am going to give, I'm paying for college tuition for all graduating seniors. Everyone in the auditorium went nuts. Long pause. For everybody that's black.
Oh.
Well, another dramatic pause. And then everyone black in the auditorium
Start going
goes
crazy, yeah.
And the applause is somehow louder, right? So fast forward in the episode, and you basically get to this point where, everybody's lining up to, go and find out if they meet whatever the criteria is to get these scholarships. And this one kid who was the focus of that episode, he when you open up the episode, you're like, yo, who's this white guy? And he very much he was playing some video games, and some black dudes were talking trash to him, and he hit him with the hard R, real big time. It's whoa, they let that happen. Turns out that kid, he wasn't white, he was actually mixed.
Yeah.
But in the whole episode's in black and white.
Oh.
Right? Kid was mixed. So, but none of his friends know. All of his friends think he's white. So he's passing. Next thing you know, he's like in the auditorium, or he's like going to, line up with everybody else trying to figure out, okay, like what can I do to get this and how can I keep this as discreet as possible, basically. And everyone that's in, like, a whole bunch, half the people in line aren't even black. You got like Mexicans, you got like different Hispanic people, you got Indians, you got like just all these different people who aren't necessarily actually black, right? And then they're basically talking about how, black isn't just, a skin color or a whatever. It's a culture. It's an idea. It's just the way they did it was like they made fun of every possible way that you could trope being black. Every way that we like to conceive, oh, this is black. Well, no, this is black. Like, they made fun of it in every possible way.
Yeah.
And they did such a great job at making you understand, like, it's not just this one set thing, And it was fun. It was a fun episode. Shout out to Donald Glover, man. Shout out to the whole team.
I never saw the episode. Great. Like, I left at season 1. Season 1 was fire, but I never got past season 1.
Yeah, it was really good.
But I mean,
great show.
It's levels. I mean, like I said, and I like it because, like, when you look at Prince was blackity black, but he
blackity black. But he might have been light skinned. That Italian was showing, but he was black.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Prince could do stuff that nobody could do. I'm gonna be honest. But like, Prince was just on a whole nother level. But and that's what I like about that about your music. It's like you can't make the kind of music that you make and be like, because like you see art in the background. It's like your music fits your personality. It's creative, you know what I'm saying? But it's like
it has to. I mean,
I like the energy. It's unique. It's unique. Like how and I don't like the cookie cutter recipe. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I get it. It's like now we're making algorithm music. That's what they call it. You know what I'm saying? Like making music for the algorithm, making music for TikTok, making music. It's not really.
That's probably my biggest problem with just like the industry and the internet right now.
Yeah,
is like there's the beauty of the internet is that anybody can do anything, but the double-edged sword of it is anybody can do anything.
Yeah,
and unfortunately, most of the people who get the majority of the attention a lot of the time are the people who are just like trying to catch some clout real quick and get quick 15 minutes of fame or figure out how to get rich quick or whatever. And it's like, that's fine, but like when like it's like, could you make some room for the people who actually care, that sort of thing? But then at the same time, the difficulty is like there's a lot of people who care who just aren't good.
But let's just make music for like, that's why. Okay, like I see where you at now, and I see where you was when I first started listening to you. I didn't know you past a couple years ago. My child, about 5-6 years. Yeah. I've been knowing you, at least knowing you. We didn't got close in the last couple years, but like as far as musically, I see that. I call it like you coming into your own, because I feel the same way about myself, and it's just like for me, it was like learning how to be authentic, like taking off these masks. You know what I'm saying? One at a time. And usually, for me, it happened like through a lot of difficulty, through pain. It's like you go through something and you realize.
Trials and tribulations.
Yeah, it's like when you go through some stuff and you realize, like when you go through some things and it's like, that's why I'm heavy on. Like, one of the loudest lessons you can learn is like when you go through a storm or something bad and like people don't necessarily do you wrong, but they back away. Yeah, it's like they don't want to be a part of what's going on right now.
When you gotta suffer through the storm by yourself.
Yeah, and it's like I don't want to be close to that, but it's like I'm not gonna talk about you none of that. But I don't want to be around that mess.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you.
Yeah, that's a lesson.
That's tough.
But it's like you got to go through these things, because I think we go through them things first of all so that our idols are killed down, and the idol can be anything. Like sometimes we put too much trust in other people.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Facts. Like way too much responsibility in other people when it should only be in God or yourself or your wife. And it's like I think a lot of them trials that we call trials is just God tearing the idols down.
Yeah.
Like
I agree.
You depending on people too much validation, too much.
Oh, that'll kill you.
Yeah,
That'll
like
kill you
doing
quick.
everything for validation instead of living validated. It's like it's hard to create because you're always trying to prove yourself.
Right.
And you're coming from a small place instead of a big place. I
spent a long time trying to prove how good of a rapper I was. Right?
Yeah.
And like, I'm at a point now where I'm like, no, I'm good at rapping.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem acknowledging. I remember was hanging out with some homies and was just like, I'm really not necessarily a rapper. I'm good at it, but I'm not necessarily a rapper. They were like, weren't you like just freestyling? What are you talking about? I'm like, well, yeah, I'm good at it. That's not necessarily what I am though, you know? And I think that was my biggest thing. I had to, I spent a long time trying to prove, hey, look, I'm good at it. Like, my second project, Thoughts in Between, was a mixture of, me wanting to release more music, you know, talking about what I was going through, just, what life looked like during that season.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mixed with, well, it seems like people really like trap stuff. So let me, try and do some trap stuff mixed with, I also really want to prove to people I can rap. That's really what that project was. And to this day, it's the project that I go back to and listen to the least.
How's your, not to jump too far, but I know you're married. How long you been married?
4, it'll be 5 years this year.
So, how, because I know what it is, and obviously you got a good woman.
Facts.
But,
shout out to
how is that dynamic between, because, having someone to support your dream, you know what I'm saying? Having someone to believe in you. How's your wife been?
It's been great. It's beautiful, but it's hard. Because what I want to do requires a lot of time. What I'm doing, I'm gonna say it that way. What I'm doing requires a lot of time.
It do.
And that just means across the board, being a husband, being a father, being a full-time working man, being a musician and an artist. All of those things take time, a lot of time. They require a lot of time.
You know that funny, and I'm gonna let you keep going. My wife asked me, "What can I do for you?" And I would always tell her, "Do you need this? Do you need this?" I said, I would tell her, "The only thing I need from you is time."
Facts.
And it's I think all men can agree. TD Jakes got a famous quote. It's TikTok friendly, but
of course.
But it's it's hard for a man. You know what I'm saying? Because with the women, the kids, everybody want this. But if you have time, then first you're not gonna have no money. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And if you want money, then you're not gonna have time. And if you want to live at a certain level, then it's gonna take time to build. But and it's but you swallow that. That's part. And truthfully, good wives understand. I know you got a good woman. It may frustrate them, but they do understand.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's the biggest thing. She'll have moments where she's I'm like, hey, listen, this is happening. This is what's going on. And I'm going to need to be here at this time. And I'm going to have to be there till this time.
Yeah.
And sometimes she'll be like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'll see it on her face. She's just like,
it's on the face, yeah.
Really?
You can feel it. You feel the energy.
And she'll just sort of pause and sit with it for a second. And then sometimes she'll be like, can we not? And depending on the situation, I'll be like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
And then sometimes she'll be like, can we not? And I'm like, all right. And then she'll come back later and be like, just go ahead and do it. I know you need to. So.
Yeah, I mean.
And that's the thing. And then there's times where she's like, and a lot of times it'll be the stuff that requires money where she's like, do it.
Yeah.
She's like, it'll get you further. Is it going to put you out there a little more? Do it.
It's a weight. It's a weight.
So it's very much like I said, it takes a lot, and it's not lost on me that she has to spend her time with our children 99% of the time, and I'd say almost 90% of that time is by herself. And
that's a job. Yeah, that's definitely a job.
I tell her all the time, full-time mom, I would never trade jobs with you. Ever. I commend you for what you do, and I would never want to be in your position.
That's a job. That is definitely
a hard job. So I'm very grateful, and it is not lost on me that I definitely have a great woman who is supportive and loving and caring and concerned with where my career goes. Not just because we need I got to put food on the table, but because she knows This is what I love. This is what I care about. This is what I do. Like, she understands that if I don't do this now, if I don't give this all that I have, and I'm 50 years old, I'm going to be miserable, and it's going to cost her and our kids.
I think regret.
Like, she knows that.
I think regret is the worst. Yeah, you don't want to live regret. I mean, it's like that. Same thing with me and my wife. We going on 10 years. Well, we are at 10 years now.
Hey,
it's crazy.
Congrats. That's
but
crazy.
It's like I've learned a lot. Like, marriage changes a person.
Yes,
I think marriage is like the greatest. That's like God's chisel. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to like become a better person, just stay married.
This is like a super churchy thing that I heard for like years growing up, but they say that like marriage is the second most sanctifying thing that you can do in life next to accepting Jesus.
That ain't true.
I'm like, yo, it's facts, because the whole point of Jesus is to learn how to become selfless and love yourself in a manner that allows you to love others better. And marriage requires that of you.
Marriage,
day in and day out.
It humbles you. It shows you yourself, the good and the bad. A lot of bad. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But
it requires a lot.
At the same, like, as it's your vision, and it's like, as a man, it's gonna be a time where, like, I listen to Eric Thomas a lot, and he was like, it was a time when his wife really didn't see it. Yeah. He was like, it was a time where, and it's like, it's not that they didn't see it, but it's like, it's not no one's responsibility to see it except you. But at the same time, like, you can't neglect your partner. You know what I'm saying? But
I don't know if this is like the best example, but I know it is a great example. To me, it is anyway.
Yeah.
I was watching Get On Up the other day, the James Brown movie.
Yeah, Get On Up.
With Chadwick Boseman. I ain't
seen that one in a while.
R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman. He killed that.
Yeah, for real, facts.
As well as every other role.
R.I.P. King, rest in power.
Facts. I was watching that the other day, and there's a scene in the movie where, you know, James Brown is talking to his buddy, his music homie, and he was telling him, you know, he was like, how you gonna do all this, James? Like, talking about getting married, you know, like having a family, making this music. Like, how you gonna do all this? We ain't got no money. We ain't got nothing.
Yeah.
How you gonna do all this? And he was like, listen, Mr. Bird, you know how James Brown talk, Mr. Bird, he said that at the end of the day, nothing's finna stop a man from what he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
Nothing's finna stop a man from what he's supposed to do. Now, yeah, you got responsibility. You're going to have family and children. You got to take care of your people. You know, that just give you purpose.
Yeah.
But purpose ain't going to stop it neither.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I think I know what scene you talking about. Yeah.
He was like, purpose ain't going to stop it neither. We got to do what we got to do. We going to make it happen.
That's it.
And that stuck with me. I'm like, at the end of the day.
Let me ask you this. Why you want this? Like, okay, I know you make music because you love it. But why you want it? Like, why you want this international level?
Because I don't want anything else.
Yeah.
that's the easy answer.
Cause it's questions I ask all artists, and that question I ask myself. Mm-hmm. Like, I want it too. You know what I'm saying?
Why? Your why is.
But it's like why? Yeah, why? Like, why do I want? For me, I found. Well, my why is this. I found out that I want to be a bridge type. Like, right. You know what I'm saying? I figured out it's a miscommunication. I call it a miscommunication between. It's just this what it looks like.
Versus what it is.
What it is, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people have this perception mm-hmm. of what it is to be a believer, be a person of faith mm-hmm. in life. So I'm like, I want to be basically a bridge. But that's my why, and I'm in it for the impact. Now, don't get me wrong. I want the bag.
You want the bread.
I want plenty.
For sure.
I want plenty.
I need the bag.
I want plenty bags. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not business irrelevant. Like, exactly. I don't like people who get like super religious and like, no, it's not about the money, because I don't think you can if it starts with the money, I don't think that's enough fuel to get you through hard times.
If it starts with the money, it's gonna end with the money, and it's gonna end quick.
Now, don't get me wrong. Poverty is a good motivator. Like, listen,
trash.
Like
it's
when
not fun.
I'm working now, like I don't got a problem going to my job. I may complain, but listen, I done been in the last couple of years like broke.
Yeah.
And when you're a father,
that's not a good.
When you're a father and you can't support or do what you like, poverty is a good motivator, but I don't think it's enough to push you through the rough times. You know what I'm saying?
I completely agree.
It got to have something deeper than that. It got to be on a deeper level for you to push past everything that you got to push past to get to where you're going.
It's a video that's been floating around Instagram for a little bit. It's a video, like a little quick clip of Bernie Mac talking, and he was saying how, you know, people saying like, yo, you gotta hustle, you gotta get your money up. I always hated that saying.
Yeah.
And he was like, because at the end of the day, like, if you just doing it for money, then what good are you really doing, and what good is it really gonna do you?
Yeah, that's real.
It's not gonna last. You know,
it's gonna destroy you.
Exactly. And it's so, I mean, like, yes, you know, I'm very much trying to figure out how to be on my James Brown. It's like, I know this is show business and they just want to see me do the show, but if I'm gonna do the show, best believe I'm gonna be the business too.
Yeah, you got to.
And so
you gotta
know
your business.
You know, and so I'm very, like, it's not lost on me that I have so much that I need to learn about the business side of things, and that I'm trying to figure out so I can make sure everything that I do can be as lucrative as possible. So yeah, my whys include, because I need the bag, because I have a family that I need to take care of and provide for. Yes, that is part of my why. But my why also includes the fact that I haven't wanted to do anything else since I was 13.
You want to play? You want to be in the majors? That's just like somebody playing football. You know what I'm saying? They do it to be in the league.
I haven't wanted to do anything else since when I was 13. I started playing drums.
Yeah.
And I remember the first drum set I ever had was this very raggedy set that the worship leader at a church we were going to at the time gave to us right before we moved. And it was literally just a kick, a rack tom, and a snare. No hi-hats, no cymbals whatsoever. And when I tell you these things was beat up, it was a mess.
So you pretty much been locked in since you was 13.
Bro, when I tell you I played that drum set like it was the prettiest thing in the world, you would have never known that it was like a piece of trash. I don't even know if I knew at the time it was a piece of trash. I was so excited. And I would play for hours. I would play along to Outkast's Speaker Box, The Love Below.
Speaker Box.
And
what?
Kanye's Late Registration.
Oh, no.
Yes.
No, high school.
College
Dropout.
Yep. College Dropout was fire. But Late Registration was the album that came out that was out at that time.
Late Registration was fire.
Late Registration was, like, I remember playing, like, the snare groove on crack music.
Shout out to the old Kanye, man. Kanye's still the greatest producer ever to me, but still.
Hands down. Kanye has made questionable decisions over the last few years, for certain. He has done some very questionable things over the last few years, for certain. But I also think, and I remember hearing someone say this, and it immediately made sense as soon as they said it. If you watch the Genius documentary, it's like watching the making of a supervillain.
That's why it is.
And as soon as I heard it, I completely understood it. I was like, yeah, it really is. When you spend 10 plus years being told, oh, that's cute that you do that, but nah, just keep feeding me them beats. Yeah. Meanwhile, you're one of the best rappers in that circle during that time, and nobody knows.
Man, Kanye had a mean hustle though.
His hustle was
and belief out this world.
Absolutely.
Like you can tell.
Absolutely.
Like he was undoubtedly unshaken.
Bro.
Like we're gonna do this. We're doing this.
He knew. It was already set in motion. That sort of thing, you know? And so, I mean, like...
The power of belief, though.
The power of belief is a very strong thing. And that's why yes, like I said, questionable decisions have been made, but I will always have love for Kanye.
I would say, like, even going belief, like, how much, like, where you at in that area? Okay, let me ask this question first. Being that this is no labels, like, how does your faith drive what you do? Like, how does your faith drive your music? Like in your correct in your direction? Like, where is that? Like, how does that drive what you do? Like, where's that?
I'm not gonna make it without it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I have several areas that I need to improve in, especially right now.
Yeah.
The season of life that I've been in for the past year has definitely been one that I'm sure some people will probably be concerned about, as far as like, the I guess, quote unquote, standard church sort of situation. But like, just, I don't know. I look at a lot of things differently right now.
Your life would do that.
And and here's the thing. A lot of people will tell you you need to have a home church. You need to go to a home church, that sort of situation, that whole thing. And it's like, I hear you. You got to do the tithing thing. You got to do this, that, and the third. I hear you.
Yeah.
However, a lot of what people are telling people in these churches is not always true. Now, there are a lot of churches that are out here really trying to do what God has called them to. Shout out to them. But there are a lot of places that are, unfortunately, a church is a business.
Oh, yeah.
So
definitely.
let's not forget, they got to keep the lights on, too. And because of that, it's easy to get lost in that when you're running a church. It's just like anything else. The bread, the bag, can make you do some shady things.
It can.
And I have learned over the years that, unfortunately, no one is exempt from that susceptibility. Anybody can be susceptible to the bag.
Nah, anybody can fall.
Just between that and learning certain things and better understanding certain things, and then life just putting me through the ringer for however long, it brings you to a place where you're like, yeah, I don't know how much I believe in that. I don't know how much I don't know how true that is. But the thing that never changes is Jesus.
Yeah.
That's the part that, like, no one, because everyone's quick argument for, why you need certain things in religiosity is because, well, Jesus said, it's like, well, Jesus said a lot of things that y'all ignoring. So how much of what you're saying did he actually say, for one? And then for two, if your winning argument is Jesus, why is it that Jesus is my winning argument? Like, not even my winning argument. It's just like, regardless of what's changed for me in life, Jesus hasn't. Right?
That's real.
Jesus is like, regardless of how I feel about church, how I feel about other Christians, how I feel about people who are very big into religion and like tradition and their whole thing. Yeah. Like, no matter where that stands, no matter how I feel about that, the one thing that hasn't changed is the way that I feel about Jesus. And the way I feel about him is like, I need him regardless.
I think, because I understand, because I've said it on podcasts before. I think, okay, first of all, like, I don't believe your belief is valid until it's shaken. You know what I'm saying? Because
say it again.
Yeah, it's like, so whatever. I don't know your personal journey, but I've said on podcasts, even like I'm at a great place now. But people, like, even the last, like, I'm making music again. But it was a time where it was like, okay, I had to ask myself, do I believe? I had to stop. You know what I'm saying? Because I was told Audrey, like, at one point in time, I was almost like a functioning atheist. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we believe God, but it's all mental. You know what I'm saying? Like, we believe in the idea of God, but God is real. So when life get real, then you meet a real God.
Exactly.
It's like
you don't need an idea anymore.
Yeah, it's like, I tell, like, you got to put it to the test. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you don't trust the general until he's battle tested.
I don't trust anyone who says that you shouldn't doubt God or that you can't doubt God. Anyone who tells you that you can't have doubt, I don't trust it. Because
the man said,
what have you been through exactly?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't sound like much. If you haven't doubted, if you haven't had doubt creep into your mind about all of this, at some point, you either haven't been through enough or you were living in denial. Yeah. I don't know which one it is. But at the end of the day, the thing, like, what inspires you to investigate if you're not doubting? You know, like, doubt inspires you a lot of times. Yes, doubt can be inspiration to make you go, all right, I got to figure out how to dig deeper.
You gotta go. You gotta put it to the. Yeah, I mean,
so, like you said, you gotta put it to the test. You gotta work. I mean, like even the Bible says, like you have to work out your faith. How do you work it out unless you come to something that makes you go, all right, I don't know.
I don't know, like yeah. I mean, but that's when you get to authentic, and I think like I don't speak for. I think that's one of God's purposes. Well, what I've seen for me is that through that process, you know what I'm saying, it really got it made me be real with life, with me, and it's like it made me take off this mask, and it made me be authentic. And it's like you come to places like that. You I only but because I mean you can't go in for the long run if you're not solid. So if you really don't believe it, you need to really stop and let's find out. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, instead of keep going on fumes, but that's
autopilot. Yeah,
on autopilot, man. But I mean, I rock with it, man. It's all a process, and it's like we all going through our unique one, and it's coming out because like being authentic in your music, you can tell, you can feel it, you can feel truth, right? Like I know it's a catchy vibes, vibrations. But it's a real thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when somebody's in a bad mood or angry.
It's a buzzword, but the reason why it's a buzzword is because you still have a lot of people out here who don't want to accept science. Yeah. And unfortunately, a lot of the people that don't want to accept the science of it are the people who claim to believe what we also believe. And so that's the difficulty of it. Getting people to not be so like everything that isn't solely Jesus is taboo. And it's like, bro, that's not the case. Like, you have to understand there are certain things that just like the way life works, the way physics work, like this is also true.
And it all goes back. It doesn't
negate Jesus. It just means it's also true.
It really just happened. It all goes back to Jesus. Cause because it goes back because that kind of stuff it explains, okay? You know what I mean? Like, it explains certain things. Like science is good science. I ain't talking about everything, but good science. Good science.
Real science.
It explains
weird
things
science.
It explains things that we hear all the time. It's like the Bible says that everything is held together by His word, and science actually has proven that nothing is solid. You know what I'm saying? Everything is vibrating. So basically, everything that's hard, it's not really hard. It's just vibrating so fast.
Right. It's able to stay sturdy.
So you figure out, you hear that science, and then you read the Bible and it says everything is held together by the word of God.
At some point, that was a liquid of some form.
Yeah.
You know, like at some point, this is a liquid. Like, I don't know. It's anything can become a liquid just about. I'm pretty confident. I don't know. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure just about anything can be liquidated in some way. And so, like, if that's possible, that means that, like, everything has capacity to, like, change and be morphed into whatever. And so it's just about...
It's about relationships. I mean, like I said, and then I'm going to talk about some music. But it's about being authentic. Like, okay, God, I believe God wants you to be real, to be true. Even if it's doubt. Even if it's doubt. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. He can handle your doubt.
Exactly.
He created Earth. He can handle your doubt. Yeah. It's okay. But... because if you truly then be real. Because I think the greatest example God gave me of religion, and I said it in one of my podcasts, is the Pharisees was telling Jesus that you can't do this on the Sabbath. So they were telling God about God. They missed.
You know how funny that is?
They were telling God that God said don't do this.
Well, hey.
You know what I'm saying? You're so blinded by your traditions that you missed God. And that's how I have no problem. I have a home church. I have a leader. Right. I believe in the church, but I'm against religion. I'm against man-made tradition. But enough of that, because I can go on a tangent, and it's like I can go on a tangent.
I feel that.
And look, what's the name of your latest single?
So I have a little 3-pack EP out right now. It's called Everyday Love. I like to refer to it as a short love story told in 3 parts with very little detail. And so,
I like that.
I'm not big on writing love songs, but I've had friends who have been telling me for years, like, you need to make panty dropping record, bro.
Panty dropping.
Like, I don't feel like doing that, but I happen to have these 3 love songs that, like, I happened to write recently, just more than anything, like, just trying to, like, do writing exercises, and it happened to be close, getting close to Valentine's Day, and I was like, you know what? Why not?
Why not?
Yeah, Everyday Love out on all streaming platforms, that sort of thing.
All links gonna be below.
Yeah.
Take care of that for real.
And what you said about authenticity, I just want to I have to circle back to that.
Yeah.
That's important. Like, I know I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of writing love songs. However, these 3 songs I am proud of, and they are honest and they are true. And like, yes, let's be honest. When it comes to music, like, music is supposed to be like the feeling and everything is supposed to be elevated.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember, what song was it? The Showman. U2 has a song called The Showman. And in the song, Bono says, I lie for a living, I love to let on, but you make it true when you sing along. And to me, that made so much sense, and it's so poetic in the best way, because it's like, a lot of the times, like, stuff that you hear in these songs might not necessarily be someone's actual life.
It's called art.
But that doesn't make the story untrue, because it's true for somebody. So that's why they wrote it.
What we do, we take pieces of our real life and we
inject it
into
what the art is. And so, like, for me, like, when I make certain things, everything that I've made thus far has been like pretty much like 100% bio-autographical, but I am looking forward to moving into a space where, like,
telling
I can just tell stories.
That's the best music.
That'll be cool, like,
that's
like right now, like, my biggest, like, you were asking about my playlist right now, like, who I'm listening to the most right now, and we'll see what my Spotify Wrapped looks like at the end of this year. But right now, most spins in my freaking library has to go to Gorillaz. I love Gorillaz so much.
Who?
Gorillaz? You don't know the Gorillaz?
Nah.
What? You don't know that song? Feel good.
Nah, I don't. I gotta check it out.
Oh my God, I can't believe I am shook right now.
No, I don't.
You are the second person within the last like 2 weeks that I've talked to who didn't know who the Gorillaz were. And that person was like a 23-year-old girl. I can't believe you.
I don't know the Gorillaz.
That is
no.
Okay.
I gotta expand my palette.
Well,
I gotta expand my
yes,
palette.
Like the Gorillaz, they have been around since. So the front man for Gorillaz, Damon Albarn, he like started with like a sort of pop band called Blur, out of the UK, and then in like the late 90s, him and a friend of his who is like a visual artist, they decided, let's make a band and kind of make fun of the idea of what music and MTV has become.
Yeah.
And so they made like a virtual band. The band itself is not actually real. Like
a virtual band?
It's animated characters.
That's crazy.
It's animated characters, right? So all the music videos are these animated characters playing the music and singing the songs. And obviously, like, to tour, they need a real band. So there is a real band in place. Like, they make all the actual music. But, like, the idea of the whole thing was just really cool. And the stuff that they've come up with since, like, their first album came out in 2001. And they released, I think they're releasing a new album this year. But, like, they've been releasing music for the last 20 years.
I gotta look them up then. I gotta look them up.
It's still good. It still hits. There's a lot of funk. There's a lot of hip-hop. There's a lot of soul. There's a lot of pop. Like, it's just they blend everything together.
Yeah.
And he works with a lot of black artists.
I gotta check him out.
Which I think is absolutely beautiful. Like, and he gives them a lot of space to shine, which is great. So
I think we're in a good place now, though. Like, I think the game is actually, because at one point in time, the game changes. It goes, but it was in a chokehold of a certain sound. I think it's coming back around to where people are looking for different pockets. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody got their tribes. Like your tribe, like we can collab and you can gain audience from people who listen to my type of music, but on a normal day, somebody who listens to what I'm putting out is not going to listen to what you put out unless we collab.
But that's the point of collabs.
Yeah,
that's the point of working together, and that's the beauty of collaboration.
And it's being cool with your tribe. It's like you're not going to attract everyone. You got certain phenomena. Even Michael Jackson, as big as he was, everybody was not a Michael. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. Like, Oh, Michael kind of.
I would say
different.
Michael
kind of
like,
different. He might have. He might have had everybody.
Michael might be the one outlier because Michael like
That's a bad example.
yeah.
I ain't gonna say Michael might have had everybody. I ain't gonna lie.
Prince, right? People have been arguing for years now, decades, literal decades of who's better between Michael and Prince. The thing is, Michael and Prince are completely different artists.
Prince is a better artist. I think Michael is a better performer. But Prince is fire.
Michael was a better figure.
Yeah.
Right? To the eye, Michael was a better figure. Something about Michael was just striking in the sense that like everyone couldn't help but love him.
Yeah.
Right? And he was a phenomenal top tier performer.
Yeah, he was a killer performer.
Now the reason why I don't know if I'm gonna say that Michael is like the better performer is because I've seen footage of Prince's performance.
Yeah, Prince got some crazy performances.
And
I ain't gonna lie.
Any man that can wear 4-inch heels and spin around on those heels, drop down into a split, and then come back up in that split on those same heels and spin around again and do some crazy James Brown footwork, that's a heck of a performer. Not to mention the stuff he could do with guitar. Nobody's touching James Brown. Nobody's touching Prince on guitar except for Jimi Hendrix, and like John Mayer is like maybe a close second.
No, Prince was different. I ain't gonna lie.
Nobody's really touched. No one's guitar work was ever really, and I'm not sure if it ever will touch Prince's.
Prince was different.
So Prince was Prince is like my personal dead or alive number one artist.
You go with Prince.
Absolutely.
That's
now
a good one.
Michael is a very close second because like you can't deny nothing about Michael Jackson.
Mike was the GOAT.
Yeah,
Mike was the GOAT. Nah, that's real. I ain't gonna go too much longer. You got any?
Oh man,
how long we going?
That's a good question. This thing say 2 hours.
I know we be going to 2 hours.
There's no way that's possible.
That's no way that's.
We gonna have to find out. We can chop this up.
Yeah, you got any last statements you want to say to the people? any up and coming projects?
I've got another headlining show coming up March 24th.
Columbia, South Carolina?
Yep, Columbia, South Carolina. It will be at Curiosity Coffee Bar. Gotta get the flyer out and stuff like that, but it'll more than likely be at either 5 or 6 at Curiosity Coffee Bar. I'm working on music. Just know that. I am very much working on music. This year is going to be an interesting year, and I'm excited for what it holds for me musically and performance-wise, and yeah. It's gonna be tight, so please stay tuned.
Shout out to socials.
JB Samson, that's JB Samson on pretty much everything: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I think Instagram it's JB Samson Music Official, and then on TikTok I think it's JB Samson Music 21, something like that. So. Yeah. This
was a fire conversation. I appreciate you for, you know what I'm saying, taking part of it.
No problem.
And until next time, we are out. JB Samson edition. No labels edition.
Yes, sir.
Love y'all. We out of here.
Out.
That was fire.
Facts. That was tight. Did we really talk for 2 hours?
I don't think so, bro. There's no way.
I wonder if I hit record. No, hour and 13. Okay, all right. I was about to say.